One evening, Daisy ambled into the top station. She saw Toby and Terence nearby, enraptured in conversation. "Such a delightful specimen," cheered Terence. Daisy felt flattered. "Why, thank you, my dear." Toby couldn't stifle a laugh. "We weren't talking about you." "No, something better," added Terence, the disdainful look on Daisy's face not deterring his gay chatter. "We are talking about whiskey." "Farmer Wade's new horse," explained Toby. Daisy groaned. "A horse? All this about a horse? What rubbish!" Toby and Terence didn't think whiskey was rubbish, nor did the village people. Next day, Daisy felt her passengers would talk of nothing else. "Fancy getting excited by a daft animal," grunted Daisy. "It's a fine noble creature," replied her driver. "Not feeling jealous, are we?" murmured Toby at the station by the river. That, of course, made Daisy's temper even fouler. She flounced away with a dramatic fury, but as she made her way down the line, a surprise stood waiting for her. She had barely left the tunnel when she came face to face with Whiskey. "Oh!" she hissed. "Stop!" Luckily, she stopped clear of the stray steed. Daisy had made such a noisy stop that Whiskey had turned and bolted. "Stupid thing must have escaped from his field," grumbled the driver. "I told you it was daft," snapped Daisy. "Best mention this to Farmer Wade," sighed the driver. "Must have broken a fence." They set off again, Daisy now feeling justified in her disdain for Whiskey. "I said it wasn't worth the fuss," she boasted that night. "Fancy making me late. Animals are simply no good to anyone." She had been rambling all night. Thomas and Percy had retired in irritated huffs, but Toby was kept up by Daisy's gloats. "There is nothing wrong with animals," he replied at last. "Besides, I'd hardly expected an engine as capable as you to be severely delayed by such a simple thing." Daisy wisely decided to go to sleep after that. But next morning, once Toby had departed for the junction, she was back on form. "Forget silly horses," she cooed to the passengers. "You should admire a proper sight, like me." The passengers boarded swiftly, and Daisy glided away. The run down the branch went well at first. "Silly thing, no good at all," thought Daisy as she popped out of the tunnel. But as she neared the cutting, she was shocked. Whiskey had wandered free once again, but this new adventure was even more of a disaster. His head was stuck in the fence beside the line. Whiskey was in a dreadful state. "Oh, the poor thing! We must do something to help," cried Daisy, whose demeanor had instantly changed. "We can't leave it here all alone." Daisy made such a fuss, her driver stopped her. A brief inquiry amongst the passengers yielded it a vet. Although inexperienced with horses, they led an effort of several passengers, and Daisy's driver to calm poor Whiskey and set him free. The guard had run back to the cinnabox to warn of the delay and to send for Farmer Wade, who was quickly on the scene. "Why, bless you all," he sighed. "I hadn't time to mend my fence yesterday. Old Whiskey seems to like the wide world. Perhaps this may teach him to stay home." "Think nothing of it," said all the passengers involved. "It's Daisy you should think. She insisted that something must be done." "What an extraordinary engine," cheered Farmer Wade kindly. Daisy blushed brightly. At last, she set off again. The passengers hadn't minded their adventure, despite its delay. When she reached the next station, Daisy found Toby and Terence gossiping. "What delayed you this time?" mused Toby. "A sheep?" The excited wave of passengers quickly filled the two in, both of whom were fully entertained. "Well, well, well," chortled Terence. "Would you ever?" "Look who's like horses after all," chirped Toby. "Oh, pooh!" scoffed Daisy. "This just proves my point. They get in the way and delayed an engine. No good at all. These daft creatures." She flounced away without another word. To this day, Daisy insists her opinions on animals, especially horses, haven't changed. but Toby and Terence think she's only pretending. Don't you?